Hi everyone, it's Nurse Cathy. Well, this week we're going to talk about mental health and well-being. People ask, what is mental health? Well, mental health is basically a term that describes your overall emotional, psychological, and social well-being. It has to do with how we think, we feel, and we act. Now, some people like to interchange the terms mental health and mental illness, but really you can't interchange those terms, because mental illness is actually a specified diagnosis of a condition that's characterized by changes in your mood, in your behavior, in your thought processes, and they ultimately result in impairment of your function. Now, it is possible to have poor mental health but not have a diagnosis of mental illness, and it's also possible to have a diagnosis of mental illness and have periods of well-being. And I know that's confusing. Now let me give you a few statistics. 50% of all Americans will experience some sort of mental illness or diagnosis or disease within their life. Now, 1 out of 5 adults experience some kind of mental disorder or disease diagnosis within a given year. And 1 out of 5 children are currently experiencing a mental illness or will experience a mental illness in the future. Now, why does mental health matter? Well, it matters because it can affect our relationships. It can reflect not only our relationships with other people, but the relationship we have within ourselves. You know, that self-dialogue, what we're saying to ourselves. The other thing it can affect is our ability to reach our full potential. We're not able to reach the full potential that we know that we can achieve and do. And also our coping skills are affected by our mental health. And the other thing that is affected by our health is if we have a chronic condition, the mental health can also affect chronic conditions and how we progress through those chronic conditions, such as diabetes, heart disease, and even dementia. Now, many people will say, you know, mental health, it's something we can't control. They'll tell you that, hey, it's not going to happen to me. People will say therapy doesn't help, medication doesn't help. They think that people who have a mental illness or mental disease are going to be violent, they're going to be unpredictable, and all those are all false. Those are all myths. Now, if someone is experiencing some mental health issues, you might notice that they're eating or sleeping too much, or it could be the opposite. They're not eating enough and they're not sleeping enough. You can notice that they might have feelings of despair and hopelessness through their actions, through their thoughts, the words that they say. They might also have an appearance of being unkept. You know, someone who is, always kept well, groomed well and things, maybe now they're unkept. And they also might be expressing feelings of suicide or even possibly performing in ways that appears they're going to hurt themselves. Now, there are a few things that you can do to try to help your own mental health. And the first thing is to take care of yourself. You need to rest, relax. You need to eat appropriately. You need to think positive thoughts. Think about that self-dialogue that we talked about last week. Think about positive thoughts. Say, I can, I will. Also strengthen your social connections. Be around your friends, your family. Also look for support groups. And one big thing that you can do that really, really helps, believe it or not, is volunteering. There's no greater feeling than volunteering and helping someone else. Another thing that you can do is journal. Journaling is a great way to write down your thoughts and your feelings. Each day, write down 5 things that you're thankful for. And some days, you'll have so many things to be thankful for, and then other days, it's going to be hard to find those 5 things. But if you search deeply, you're going to find them. And the last thing you can do is laugh. Have some laughter in your life, and also be able to laugh at yourself. Another thing that you can do to support your mental health is to look into your employee assistance programs, your EAP. Now, the EAP is a voluntary program. It's free, it's confidential, and it's non-judgmental. EAP has a bank of resources of counselors, psychologists, and psychiatrists who can help you. So please reach out if in need. Your medical plan also has an in-network bank of physicians who can also help you with your mental health issues. People say, I'm embarrassed, I'm weak if I seek help, but that's quite the opposite. Someone who recognizes that there is a problem, they have an issue, and they recognize that shows a strong person. And those who reach out and get the help they need, what emerges is an even stronger person. So that's all for me. So just a few reminders. I want to remind you that Ashley on Monday is going to talk about gut health. And also, don't forget to watch the Bucks this weekend.